Hello everybody. So I wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about our homework. So this homework's going to be a little bit more involved than some of the other homework we've had. But let's take a look at the guidance I gave you and then use this video as a chance to explain what the heck I'm talking about. All right, so let's go to our class. And so here we are in our wonderful class, and when we go to assignments, then we look at graphics manipulation. So here's the instructions. Now, this is the game space code. I included a JPEG or whatever, so you can just copy that in. And that's all in here. So let me get rid of some of this, and we'll kind of... actually, let me just start this thing from scratch just so that you can see it can be done. So we'll do a new file. Whoops. New file. We'll call this one homework demo. HW demo. All right, and I'll click save. All right, now that I've got the homework demo file up, I look at this. This is my code that will establish our game space. I explained it a little bit, but we'll just go ahead and I'll talk through it a little bit. So again, we want to import that Pygame module. If you have not got that thing yet, contact me. I did have one student who had trouble installing it on a Mac. We were able to get it going with Homebrew, which is a package that you can use to install Python stuff on a Mac. So, but I want to import Pygame. Now, what should happen here is that your system should recognize that Pygame is a thing, but that you haven't used it anywhere. So it says here Pygame was imported but unused, and then I want to do Pygame initialize, and then Pygame display. I'll just set a caption. You don't need to, but it doesn't take much time, and I just like making machines do things. All right, and we're going to define a color. So again, colors are defined by red, green, and blue. So black is the absence of any color. So we'll say 0 amount of red, 0 amount of green, and 0 amount of blue. Now we're going to define how big our game space is going to be. I'm just going to make it 600 by 600. You can make your game space as big as you want. Depends on what you're trying to do. And then size is going to be wide and tall. And I need an equal sign here because I'm assigning that. So this is a tuple that defines what the size of the game space is. Now I need to create the display set and then set the mode for how big it's going to be. So I'm going to say the screen. The screen is a variable I'm using, and then I'm going to use Pygame. These are from the Pygame package. Set mode. And then I'm setting it to the size that I did up here, right? So now I'm going to say run equals true. So I want, as long as I'm running, go ahead and keep executing code. When I stop running, that's time to stop executing code. And then let's bring in the clock. So clock equals pygame.time.clock. Okay, and then we're going to say while run. And what does that mean? When we say while run, what we're saying is while run is equal to true, right? So until we say that run is equal to false, then it's going to run. And again, notice true is orange, and it's capitalized. That is a reserved word. All right, so for event in Pygame event get. This is one of the things Pygame can do. It gets events. In this case, an event is when you click on something, specifically that red X in the upper right corner. If event type is equal to pygame.quit, then run equals false. So that would cause this to go to the end of the while loop and then kick out. So, all right, so in the while loop, though, we've got more logic. How do we know that this logic is running inside the while loop? We do it by indentation. So while run, everything that's indented one place is under this while until we give it something else that starts at the left margin. So we're going to say Pygame. Display flip is it's a way to kind of refresh the screen. This is one of those things where if you want to look into it, you can, but just take my word for it. I'm just going to show you things that I know work. And then we're going to say that it refreshes the screen 60 times per second. So basically, every 60th of a second, it's going to paint the screen again. And then Pygame quit is outside of this while loop, right? So it's only the things that are indented that are inside the while loop, which means that once we exit the while loop, which will be when run equals false, then the last thing that'll happen is we'll quit Pygame. All right, so we've got that much. Let me pause this, take a quick break. Okay, so this much code, if we run it, all it does is it makes our game space appear. So I just clicked run. I think I just clicked run. I did, and here's my game space. My beautiful game space has appeared. It's not responding, but there we go. So there's my game space. That shouldn't give me a not responding. That's sort of strange. I might have done something wrong. Let's wait and find out. But if I click this thing, then that should be the Pygame quit. And then it'll set the run flag to false. Let's try it. If it gives me an error, then something, yeah, something's up here. It's not working too good. While run, something is not working well here. Let me try run it. Oh, let me stop the execution and run it again. Ooh, one more time. It is just not behaving. Darn computers. Huh. Oh wait, here we go. Yeah, it's working now. My computer's probably just working extra hard, and I got this old terrible computer that I work on. There we go. So, caption kangaroo. Oh, it's still not responding. How strange. Wonder why not. Do I have, oh, I know why. So, the reason that this happened, and it happened before, when we don't give it any type of clock command, and I didn't put a capital C in clock, which, again, Python is... Python is case sensitive. So if you want to avoid this kind of thing, sometimes you can go here, but Python time clock. So also notice it's giving me helpful hints all the time. There are ways to disable that. I'm going to leave mine on for now. All right, let's run it again and see if this goes a little better. So it's running. Come on, caption kangaroo. Let's see if, okay, so now I got rid of the problems with it. So it's just smoothly running. It's executing every 60 seconds or 60th of a second. So if you do it slow, if you put in a bigger number, it'll refresh the screen more often, should allow things to move more smoothly. Or if you put in a smaller number, it won't paint the screen as often. So, okay, so here we go, and all it does is when I click on this thing, it makes things go away. Now, let's take a look at the homework. And in the homework, where's my homework? Okay, so number one, it says set up your Pygame space. So that's what this is, right? Set up your Pygame space. Give yourself one coding day for this task. Then it says create one non-player character. Give yourself 2 coding days. So this is if you want to work on it a little bit at a time. You can knock this whole thing out in 1 coding day if you want to. But it says the non-player character should consist of at least 3 geometric shapes. Huh? What the? Huh? What? All right, so let me just let me go here. And I'm going to copy this code. All right, so we're in the homework demo, and I want to create a non-player character. This is whatever is on your screen that moves by itself that you don't move under your command. So it's like an autonomous character. So let's define some other colors while we're at it. White is the presence of all colors. So 255, 255, and 255. And then red is equal to 255, 0, 0. So each one of these is a value from 0 to 255. Right, so that's red. Green would be equal to 0 red, 255 green, and 0 blue. And then blue would be equal to 0, 0, 255. Let's get all the, maybe all the primary colors in here. I did a cheat sheet on how to get RGB values, but I'm going to pull up the yellow RGB value. It's 255, 255, and 0. That's weird. All right, so yellow equals 255 and 0. So I got, and let's, I guess purple. Purple would be the other secondary color. So we'll have all the primary and secondary colors. So purple, one of them says it's 128, 0, 128. Well, I'll try it. We'll see. 0, 128. Okay, so we've got these colors defined, and we need to create a non-player character that is 3 geometric shapes put together. So how would we do this? Well, what I'm saying is that you need to draw 3 different rectangles. So let's go down here, and then let's set up, actually, before we do that, outside of our loop, let's set up NPC variables. And there. And then what I'll do sometimes to make it clear, like when I've got a section of comment here, is just kind of artistically, this is the extent of my artistic abilities. There we go. So I've just done that, and then this sort of attracts a little attention, says that this is going to be a section of variables that's related to something. So let's say NPC tall is 10, NPC wide is 10. Actually, let's set up another one. Let's set this is equal to 10. And tall is NPC scale. Yeah, we'll try it this way. And NPC X coordinate equals, we'll start off at 100, NPC Y coordinate okay, so that should be enough variables for my non-player character first rectangle. So before the Pygame flip, let's go here and let's put in Pygame, draw rect, screen. Screen is just what environment are you going to stick it in. So in the Pygame display set is where it's going to go. And then we'll specify a color. Our background is black, so we'll maybe make the first rectangle white. And then what I want here is X and Y coordinates and the size of it. So we'll say NPC X coordinate, NPC Y coordinate, NPC tall, whoops, NPC wide. And that should just about do it. Yep, there we go. And it doesn't like it. Why don't you? Oh, now it does. It took a while. It had to warm up to it. No, it still doesn't like it. What's going on? Invalid syntax. So something's not right here. Let me see here. What could be wrong? Oh, the screen is comma white. And that should do it. Okay, so let me run this code. And then the other thing is before... actually, no, we'll just do this for right now. Okay, so I'm going to run this code. Here we go. And it's created my non-player character here, the ball. Okay, so now what? I'm going to go ahead and kill this. But in the directions, it says that it has to consist of 3 geometric shapes, not just one. This would be a non-player character that consists of 1 geometric shape. So that ain't good enough. You're going to have to do 3. So it doesn't have to be that artistic, but make it 3 different shapes and 3 different colors. All right. So I've got this thing. Now, remember, when I'm looking at the coordinates of this, upper left corner is the X coordinate and the Y coordinate. That's where it puts it, right? And then the upper right corner is the X coordinate plus the width. And if you go down, this is the Y coordinate. That's the Y coordinate plus the height, right? So maybe like to the left of this, let me put a different box. So how can I do that? So I want to copy this one basically, and let's do, maybe we'll do a red, white, and blue. It'll be patriotic. So I'll do a red box, but it'll be the x coordinate minus MPC scale. Or now let's do minus MPC wide. And then the y coordinate will be minus MPC tall. All right, so if you don't know why that works, give it some thought. Let's run this thing and see what happens. Okay, so I started off with the white one, and then I subtracted the width of it, and then drew another one, and then I subtracted the height, but it went up. Remember, 0 for the y coordinate is here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the numbers go opposite of the way you think, right? So that's what happened. It looks kind of like Mickey Mouse. Maybe I don't want to, I'll try putting them all on the same line, so let me get rid of this. We'll run it, and then I should have two things right. There we go. Red, white, and let's put our patriotic blue one next. So I'll kill that process. There we go. And here. Okay, so now I've got, let me make this blue. So remember, 3 shapes and make them 3 different colors. This should be a beautiful design of your own making. Instead of minus, I'll go plus. And let's run it and see what happens. Okay, there we go, red, white, and blue. Okay, so that's create one non-player character. Then, next set of instructions says, make the non-player character move. Make the non-player character move. How do we do that? Well, we start monkeying around with the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. So, here's what I'm going to try to do. In the past, we would have it just move in one direction. So, but this time what I'm going to say is, let's have it move a little bit randomly. So we'll say MPC velocity, maybe. MPC speed equals 1. What's wrong with that? Okay, MPC speed is equal to 1. Now, what are we going to do with it? We can say, now speed can be positive or negative, right? And then that's how we've been doing direction. So maybe we want NPCX speed. There we go. And let's say NPC Y speed. Set them both equal to 1. And here's what I want to do. I want to introduce some randomness. So in okay, so I want it to introduce randomness. I think random is a module that is included, but let's find out. Okay, good. There is a module called random that lets you do random numbers. So what I want to do is random integers. So here I'm going to say, we'll say NPCX speed equals random randint. And I think I can do this, -1, comma 1. This should give me a random integer between 1 and -1. But it doesn't seem to like it, so that's not good. What's wrong? Oh no, did it? Did it like it? Yeah, it did. Okay, my little... All right, and then let's do the same thing with y speed. Now, what I'm doing here, instead of this thing moving in a specific direction, what I'm doing is just letting it move randomly. Like sometimes it won't move at all. or sometimes it'll move to the left and sometimes it'll move to the right. So now I want to say that MPC x coordinate is equal to MPC x coordinate plus MPC x speed. And I think I can even say, actually, we should probably use, I think plus equal is what we want here. There we go. That's a little more elegant there. All right. Plus equal, and then the y coordinate. And NPC y speed, right? So just to make it fancy. Now, you can make yours just move in lines. I don't care. You can have move in diagonals, whatever. Okay, so let me run this thing and see what happens. Performing live without a net, this could blow up and just not work. Okay, so there we go. It's sort of jiggling around. Sometimes it's moving up, it's moving down. It's just moving in unpredictable ways. Why is it not why is it just painting continuously? Because we didn't repaint the screen black in between. So what we want to do is go right here before this and say, there we go. That should be right. Why did, oh, the period. There we go. All right, and let's run it and see. So it's kind of like a jitterbug. It's moving unpredictably. How you choose to make your non-player character move is up to you, but you can introduce an element of randomness to it if you like. This one tends to not move very much. So the randomness eventually sort of cancels out. But it's just an idea. You can use it, maybe incorporate it with something else, you know. For instance, we could have it, I would say just use this as inspiration. Okay, so this would satisfy the conditions of the first part of the assignment. Please tell me I didn't close that window. Here we go. All right, so now, whoops, what do we have to do to complete the assignment? Okay, so it says create a player character and give yourself 2 coding days. The player character should consist of at least 3 geometric shapes. Okay, well, so I've got my non-player character, and let's create a player character. So since we have the non-player character variables, we just need to create player character variables, right? So we'd say player character tall, player character wide, the x coordinate and the y coordinate. I don't know, maybe we'll keep speed and see about that. All right, and so now we've got variables for our player character. And then here, since this whole thing is our non-player character, I would say let's put a comment in there that makes it clear. So this is NPC control. All right, so now we need PC control, player character control. And I think instead of like having red, white, and blue going up and down, let's have maybe the secondary colors, or the secondary colors going up and down instead of red, white, and blue going left to right. So let's do green, purple, but orange is the other one, right? So green, we didn't have yellow though. So green, yellow, and orange, or I mean, what's the other one? Purple. Okay, and then this one's the basic one. Then I want this one to go on top of it. So let's say the x coordinate is going to be the same, and then the y coordinate is going to be minus. And this will be plus PC tall. So and PC x coordinate. All right, and let's see. Here we go. Oh, it just created it made them both exactly the same. Why? Oh, because I'm using the NPC coordinates. So my player controller should, there we go, it should get its own coordinates. Get your own coordinates, lazy player character. All right, whoops. There we go. All right, so let's run it. Okay, so our player character, does he look lined up? He is kind of lined up. Okay. And then the non-player character is just jiggling out there. So maybe start our player character in a different location. All right, and let's run it. There we go. So this is our non-player character jiggling all over the place, and our player character is this one. That satisfies the conditions that I want from this. Now, you can be more creative. You can make a better looking character than what I have there. Okay, so it says make the non-player character move, create a player character, and it should be 3 geometric shapes. And then it says add controls that let you make the player character move based on keyboard commands. So for this one, what I want to do probably is control it with my up, down, left, and right arrows. So let's put in stuff there that lets me do that kind of stuff. Did I include that code over here? Probably. Did I? Where's the ones with the paddles? Okay, here we go. Oh, this is my original one where I shot missiles. Shot missiles. Okay. So what I want to do here is say that if, because again, my player character should only move if I control it. The non-player character moves on its own. Player characters should move because you control them. So let's go down here and let's say if keys Pygame k underscore left then we'll say we'll make this guy move. Well, I don't know. We'll just make him move. We'll make him move relatively normally. So we'll say that PC x coordinate plus equals -2. Now, you shouldn't be able to do your left and your right arrow at the same time. So we're saying that if you do left, it's not going to let you do right. So this will be Pygame's k right. Actually, I'll type it. Okay, and if that happens, then px coordinate PCX coordinate plus equals 2. So that is for left and right, but we'll say that you can hit up and down arrows at the same time. So basically, if keys game.k up px. Oh no, it should be PC. Why did I have px? That's why it's hard to deal with other people's code. What didn't it not like? Keys? Oh, why didn't you like that? Oh, hold on. I know what it is. Let me look at this thing for a second. Yeah, that's what it is. We need this command. Keys equal Pygame keys get pressed. Now, this just gets every key that's being pressed. So underscore y coordinate plus equal, so the y coordinate if it's up would be -2. LF plus equal 2. I think that'll work. Let's find out. We'll run it. There we go. And so now if I hit my up arrow, there we go. Down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. Okay, so that should satisfy all the conditions of the homework. So what I need you to do is code that. Let me just double check what I told you. Okay, so, and it says add controls that let you make the player character move based on keyboard commands. All right, that's it. So when you do that, what I'd like you to do is paste your code, grab it all, paste it into a Word document, and then paste an illustration. Do a screen cap of this. Paste it all in the same Word doc. I can't believe that this is as complicated as it appears to be. Have mercy on me. I have to grade hundreds of these things every week. So please submit these the way I'm asking you to do it. So just submit the code. Just grab it all, copy it into a Word doc, and then below it include a screen cap. So this is it. That's all you have to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and provide some supplemental stuff. If you'd like, you may choose to do this as your project if you want to do a sufficiently complicated enough video game. But this should explain how to do your homework. So stay tuned. We'll be providing more info.